terrible.
Anything
That
but
was
brass.
terrible. Forgive me. Okay, let's review just a little bit. I want to. There's another point here I kind of want to talk about a little bit. This is a slide, comes from Dean, you know, that referenced the pastor out in Texas. He's got a lot of artwork stuff that I borrow from. Now he's a believer that at the end of the trumpets, now this doesn't mean one trumpet, it symbolizes all the trumpets, okay? And that theory that I told you, that you got your seals, and just before the last seal, it introduces the trumpets. So the trumpets are really embedded in one of the seals, and likewise the bowls are embedded in one of the trumpets. We're going to find out that same sequence happens. Now he believes after the trumpets, before the bowls, and before the rest of it happens, that's the midpoint. It's not common with some people. Some people believe it's already gotten to the midpoint. I don't know. But that's how he's got it depicted here. I'll leave that open for your thought, and maybe we'll all learn together and be able to say, nah, this doesn't make sense if that's the case. Okay. I couldn't find the fight on that. Okay, so you see the white horse, red horse, black horse, ashen horse, the martyrs, and then the Lamb's wrath, and then the seventh seal, bringing the trumpets into being, which we've already read. Now, likewise, the trumpets are going to go down, and we're going to see the hail upon the earth, the burning mountain upon the sea, wormwood upon the waters, the sun, moon, stars, and so on and so forth. And then the seventh one will introduce the bowls. Okay? Okay, and that's where he feels is the midpoint. All right, now I don't know about that. But there is a thought that says if these are embedded in there, that's one kind of a timeline. If they are in series, that's another. Okay, and if as you get further into this, you'll have to relate the scriptures to, well, how does that fit in with that theory that it's embedded in it? Okay, and how that plays into the months. And not only that, but the reason you say it's embedded, it's no longer overlapping, because the other theory is some of these are overlapping. I'm going to show you some charts probably next week that reflect the correlation of the lightning, the thunder, the earth, the movement of the mountains, okay? And I'm also going to show you an interesting correlation between the plagues in Egypt.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of correlation. There's a lot of correlation, and I'm going to ask you to think about, could this be the character of God repeating itself for the same reason? So we're going to squint our eyes and we're going to strain our thoughts and think about that a little bit too.
I was just thinking when you said that. Question?
Yes?
So the 1/3, the hailfire is 1/3, the brain line is, I mean, the cumulative of those are the 1/3?
Now you're going to see with each of these, see the hail and the fires upon the earth. The burning mountain affects the sea. The wormwood affects the springs and the fresh water.
Right.
Each one is going to attack the earth and humans in a different manner.
But cumulative of those will destroy 1/3 of them.
Oh yeah, you'll see it. It says it's 1/3 of this die goes away, 1/3 of this goes away, 1/3 of the ships go away, 1/3 of the ocean goes away, 1/3 of the, as it goes down. And I'll sum that up at the end of the chapter.
Do you know why it's a third of all that? I mean, at this point?
I think it's the progression, because in the bowls you're going to see it gets larger. You're going to see each of these, the amount of judgment increases.
But is that to get the attention?
Yes. And that's part of
It's just-
that's part of that thought I'm going to raise to you. Why did God? I've got a scripture for you that I'd never read, never noticed before until The answer to that question will come next week or the week after. Why God did that. We'll see how the plagues. Why so many plagues?
Well, why in Egypt?
There were falling hail, burning hail. Okay.
Yeah, what did it take to get the Egyptians' attention?
Mhm.
No, I mean, same, almost the same story, very close.
But what if I told you God put a delusion on the Pharaoh?
Oh, I know he did.
He did. And he did it so that he could have more plagues.
Yes.
Scripture says that.
Oh, absolutely.
That was an awesome verse to me.
I'm sorry to recall that. That was one of the conversations he and I had several years ago.
We're going to read that. I got it in my.
What, your conversation
You
with
can
Pharaoh?
you can cheat. You can cheat and look ahead in your notes, maybe. I'm not sure if I put that in my notes. I hide some things. Okay.
I guess at this point, then after the first quarter and this third, over half of the earth is already.
Large part of it. Yeah. Large part of it. You know, and I tried.
Yeah, there's a number of places, throughout this Bible, where God did to people. He put delusions on them. My word is engineered, but that's not what it says. They don't use the word engineered in the Bible. Caused to happen is what they say. And I'm saying, he's still doing that. He does that to us individually, I think.
Well, he's in charge.
Well, think about it, the
If
rapture
Hey,
takes,
you have a good
let's say,
point there.
half or more, and you add another fourth or third, then you only got about a quarter left. And they're still fighting the Lord in his ways, so 2/3 hopefully is gone.
Is that what you call stiff-necked?
That's,
That's what you call stiff-necked.
definitely, a little stubborn, but there's a lot more people are gone than we realize, hopefully,
Well, the Bible
with the rapture.
has so many scriptures in it that say if you're rebellious and disobedient to God, you're going to pay. You don't get a free pass. Now we think sometimes we see people doing that and they're getting a free pass. It ain't over yet. Ain't over. Okay, bringing that all together. Okay, there's your seals and your trumpets, and where he calls midpoint, you got 3.5 years left. And that gives you the feeling that this progressive increase has as much time as the final 3.5 years, which I'm not sure I like that thought, okay, because you know what's going to happen out here. You know what's going to happen out here. So, but it's something to think about as we go through the scriptures and trying to pick up. You notice these only go to 6 because the 7th introduces this, and this only goes to 6 because it's introducing the rest of these. Okay, and that gives you a feeling of equal timing. I don't know that that's true, but that's the graphic he's got.
So with that timeline there, I've always been the impression you had 3.5 years of good and 3.5 years of bad, but under that, you really have a year and.
Oh, no. Tribulation starts
First half was bad,
immediately.
but the second half gonna be worse, right?
Yeah. Oh, no. Remember the horsemen right off the bat. It starts right off the bat with a guy who provides promise and then takes it away from you. Promises everything and then it gets ripped away and death follows.
So under that timeline, a fourth of the people gone in the first year and whatever year and 3/4, and then the third would be the next year and 3/4 under that timeline.
Which is significant. I mean, we're not talking minor events here. Well, if you got an asteroid coming from space, which seems like we're going to get into here in a second, potentially one that hits the ocean and another one that hits in a different fashion, hits the land and just spoils the water. Okay? I was almost going to jump ahead and give you a fact, and I won't.
You're talking